Hi, beloved brothers, welcoming you to our ritual and getting you prepared for the ritual. I got the good fortune of meeting a few times Melodoma Somé, the African Dagara shaman, and talking with him. He talked a lot about ritual and community and how and we're all the time, preparing ritual, or we're in the ritual, or then we're preparing for the next ritual. So rituals build on themselves, and I want to talk about for a moment to prepare you for our ritual. And don't feel like you have to really do much to prepare, but obviously the more you kind of let this work go deep inside of you, just kind of like the seed deep into the earth, it will grow, and as you cultivate that, it will grow even further. So that's kind of my frame thought for sharing with you. There are a lot of books and sages over the millennia that have talked about the power of intention, and we know that intention really does propel us. It guides us, it opens doors, it's our kind of putting out to the universe, so that the universe mirrors back that which we put out. So that which you reap, what you sow, you reap. What you put out, you get back. That whole concept. So thinking about this ritual that we're going to do together for just 90 minutes, having your earth and your water and a candle and air you have available to you, just even your breath, will be the the tools that you need for the ritual. But I want you to start thinking about the concept for yourself. How can you really embody an intention? How can every cell of this being of yours be showing up in this next year of 2021? And what is it that you want to be? We have behind us, it's Donnie's magic blackboard, so we only use it for special little occasions. But I have on it, if you think about the desires of your heart, that's really your intention. So in these times of unrest in our country and the world, both racial and economic, with COVID, we've all had those additional layers of stressors that they're trying to help us see something, as well as we've all experienced the grief and the loss of many things. It's also been, what's the gift in that? So in these times that we're moving from the darkest night into more light, what is the intention that you want to fill the desires of your heart? What is your heart stirring? It has been stirring during these times. What have you been hearing or crafting in ways that maybe is new or different or deeper? I'm reminded each year as we do this, one of my intentions, early intentions, was I just kind of got the word boldness, that I needed to be more bold in the world. So that became my intention for the whole year. It was my mantra to actually become more bold. So more bold in my loving, more bold in my giving, more bold in the ways that I show up and be present to hold a space. And so boldness was one. Donnie one year, his word was expansion. So expanding the boundaries of who he is, of being the Sananda that he's been called to be all of the parts of himself, to expand and be more unlimited in his energy. What are the words that are cooking inside of you, the phrases of who you want to become, who you want to embody, so that when we use the earth and touch the earth to bless us, to ground that intention, when we use the water to wash away, to awaken, to refresh us, to bless our intention, when we use the fire to warm us, to propel that intention, as we're naked together in community on this Zoom call, is the important part intention. So just spending a little bit of time, if you're able, and if you're not, just come as you are. You know, that's the perfect thing about all of this. You know, show up to the ritual and let the ritual kind of open you up to what is it that your heart is really desiring. I'll tell you one story. You know, our work in Flesh and Spirit has kind of an underpinning thread called body story work to it, that in every cell of our body is consciousness, and that consciousness, you know, it either ignites our purpose, or we can diminish that consciousness, and as many, like Rumi said, you know, don't play small. So you can really expand yourself. In this ritual on the darkest night before the light, I want you to think about what is it that is the word or the phrase that embodies the healing you need, the prosperity that you need, the things that you may need in your outer world, but start from the creation in your inner world. So the story. Years ago, I worked with Bernie Siegel, Dr. Bernie Siegel, you know, big healer, was surgeon, and became a kind of a alternative healer and guru of those ways. And he talked about a patient who came who had terminal cancer, brain cancer, and seeing the patient, there was absolutely, at that point, there was nothing medically speaking that they could do to help this man. And so the man kind of was left with what Bernie called a hope and a prayer. And the hope and prayer kind of got him into doing his inner work, like we're doing really around this intention. And he started tapping into, okay, if this is the end of my life, then what is it that I haven't done that I want to do? How do I want to be in the world? And he remembered that as a boy, he always wanted to be a concert violinist. And here he is now with terminal cancer, and given just a bit of time to live. And he remembered that, and he thought, I'm going to pick up the violin. And so at that point in time, he picked up the violin, and the story goes that 2 years later, not only was he a concert violinist, but he was in remission of his cancer. So intention, we don't know how it works. It's mystery. But we can know that with our intentions, it activates, it propels, it opens up doors, it creates within us, in our cellular mass, as well as the biochemical mass of transference between all beings. That happens. So as you kind of play with, what is it that I want to name for myself of who I want to be, or how I want to be, or what I want to manifest in the world. So, you know, your expansion, or your boldness, or your desire, like this man, to actually do what his earliest heart's desire was, that he didn't get a chance to do because his parents always wanted him to be a lawyer, and he became a successful lawyer. But at this point, he chose to do something he really always wanted. what have you always wanted? And during these COVID times, especially, what has been brewing for you as you come to this simple, playful, heartful ritual and community of brothers that you want us to witness, affirm, and bless with you, with our ancestors and elements. So think about that, and namaste.